Production video was taken from Golspie. I was hoping to do something a bit more exciting up there and get some really cool photographs for you, but the weather was just atrocious, as it is again today. So instead we're here at Urquhart Castle, and we're going to have a little play with taking some photographs and then putting them through some different processing techniques to those that I usually use. I've been having a debate with myself about whether some of the editing techniques that you see online are taking photography beyond photography, whether it is still photography, whether it's art, whether it's something different. So it's a pretty rubbish day, which is perfect for having a play with these techniques and just seeing how far you can push it and whether it still counts as a legitimate form of expression or whether it's something different. It's sort of an in vogue look at the minute, so I'll show you where we are. So overlooking Urquhart Bay, Urquhart Castle, Loch Ness, with some hills in the distance, and coming the other direction we've got Drumnadrochit Rocket with my house up on the hills underneath Millefeuer Vonnet, which is that lump which you can probably barely see on this wide angle lens. So this is what we're going to be using. The big beast. Nikon Z6 II with a Nikon AFS 200-500 5.6 constant aperture on an FZ 2 adapter. This is kind of my wildlife lens and my crazy long distance landscape lens. I think it'll work quite well for this. It's my go-to for shooting Urquhart Castle from other locations. It gives me a nice ability to get quite a good close-up crop on it. So let's take some pictures, go back and have a play. I'd take a couple of extra shots with the 24-70 as well while I was here. It's kind of, I think the 200-500 was a bit much lens. 70-200 would be an ideal. I didn't bring that with me, but we'll see what we've got when we get back. I did a couple of panoramics as well. I'm still playing with this software, Skylum, to see what it can do for me. I've got ideas of it to speed up my work process a wee bit, in that it's got batch HDR functionality which might be useful, and it's got panoramic functionality as well, and I want to play with that because I do a lot of those kind of images. So let's go home, upload everything and see what we can do. So here we are. I've just downloaded the full files into Skylum, and we'll have a little play. So first off, we have the panoramic shot. So I've selected all those, dropped them into panorama stitching, click start, and it does everything for me. It's quite good, I've got to say. I've done a couple. I've only had this software for 24 hours, so I'm really still getting to grips with it. So I'll do the full frame action. We'll crop it. We'll crop it afterwards in the developing. So it's quite nice in that I can do. I can create these panoramas or the HDRs and edit them all in one place. These are a couple of over-the-top versions I've already done, just trying things out. So let's go with this. Edit. Now it's a pretty drab scene, as I was saying earlier on. So we'll have a little look, see what we can do with it. I'm going to try 16:9 crop. I'm quite enjoying it as a form at the moment. I quite like that. I'm not keen on these trees down here, but we'll get rid of those later on, possibly in Photoshop, but we'll have a look and see what the remove tools are like in here as well. So we'll go with that. There we go. First thing to do is to try and get my balance roughly right, I think. So we'll give it a bit more exposure, a bit more contrast. It's starting to look a little more appealing. No sign of Nessie today. That's a shame. It says get more skies. I like to take my own photos of skies that I use for sky replacements, because they just they fit with the area. These are often great for California or something like that, but they're not local. That one's not bad. I quite like that. Let's try a sunset clouds and see what. That's probably a bit much, isn't it? Look at that. That'll take an awful lot of balancing to get the rest of it looking right. But I might give it a go. The sun has no right in being. Which is quite fun. Dramatic sunset. I'm just wondering if I can balance the ground out to suit some of this, which would be quite fun. It would be quite a good demonstration of just how far we can take it. Right, let's go from there. Tools. Enhance. Let's try and get a really nice vibe going here. I want it to be quite dramatic, because the whole point of this is sort of showing what fakery people can get up to. Let's try that. That kind of works. That kind of works. It's not looking bad. Scenery lighting. Right. So we've got to this point. This is somewhere distant from where we started out. So now we're going to try this whole creative thing, which lets me kind of mess with kind of lighting different parts of the image. I'll mess with the lighting. I'm not sure what the halo effect is. Magic lights. This sounds quite exciting. Right. Have a sunburst in there. So this is where a lot of people seem to be doing making things go a bit weird. They're using various toning lookup tables, as they're called. It's something that really comes from video, but it's taken. It seems to be getting into photography quite a lot now, and it's an easy way. I use them a little bit on video when I'm trying to do something to create a feel that I can use between cameras. But it's not something I've ever really used on photos, but it's definitely the basis of this current look. I uploaded a load that I've downloaded. I just thought as the colour balance, it's kind of a strange thing. I'm trying to get that kind of coffee soaked look that is all the rage. I quite like Granted, but Godfather quite good. Let's try that. Let's have some. I don't know what Mystical does. We're gonna have a bit. I've got too much warmth in this, I think. Just for fun, let's export that and stick it into Photoshop and see what we can do with it. So put it into there. Keep it as TIFF, I think, for the minute. Adobe RGB, no compression, export. So we've got the sun where it has no right to be. We've kind of changed it into a strange brown lit storm light evening. Yeah, let's see where this goes. So, what's my conclusion? It's fun. It's been a lot of fun playing with this software today and seeing what it can do. It's stretching the definition of photography in some extent, in that it's no longer being a particularly accurate portrayal of what the scene was at the time. It's perhaps an interpretation of what the scene could be like in some kind of a fictitious reality. When you can move the sun position and relight everything, it's becoming something else.